Family, let me tell you something powerful today. A woman's love is the most beautiful gift God placed on this earth. It is her greatest power because when she loves, she heals, she builds, she lifts. But it's also her greatest lesson because through love, she learns who she is, what she deserves, and how strong she can become. Love is a woman's natural superpower. A woman doesn't just give love, she is love. Her love can nurture a child, inspire a man, and heal a broken home. That's power, but like every superpower, it must be guarded and guided with wisdom. If her love is poured into the wrong places, it can drain her. But when it's poured into the right soil, it creates life. Love teaches self-respect first. The first lesson of love is this: you cannot love anyone properly until you love yourself first. Too many women give all of themselves away and are left empty. Self-love sets the standard. It teaches her how to be treated, how to set boundaries, and how to protect her peace. Love without boundaries becomes a burden. Unconditional love doesn't mean unhealthy love. A woman must learn that boundaries are not walls, they are gates of wisdom. Boundaries protect her from being used, abused, and taken for granted. When she honors her limits, she doesn't lose love, she preserves it. Love reveals true character in others. Here's a life lesson. How someone responds to a woman's love tells her everything she needs to know. If her love brings out their best, she has found alignment. If her love is ignored, disrespected, or exploited, she has found her lesson. Love exposes truth more clearly than words ever can. Heartbreak becomes the teacher of strength. Every woman will face the test of heartbreak. But even in the breaking, there is building. Love teaches her resilience, patience, and wisdom. Pain doesn't define her, it refines her. What once felt like an ending becomes the foundation for a stronger beginning. Love is her legacy, but wisdom is her guide. At the end of the day, a woman's greatest legacy will always be the love she gave, whether to her children, her family, or the world. But legacy without wisdom can become sacrifice without reward. When she loves with wisdom, her love becomes eternal. It impacts generations. So remember this: a woman's love is both her greatest power and her greatest lesson. Power because it can transform lives. Lesson because it teaches her who is worthy of her heart. When a woman learns to balance love with wisdom, she becomes unstoppable because she finally realizes that her love was never meant to break her, it was meant to build her. Family, let's talk about something that often goes unnoticed, but is more powerful than anything else a woman carries inside of her. And that is her love. See, when God created a woman, He didn't just give her beauty, He didn't just give her strength. He wrapped all of that inside the gift of love. Her love is her natural superpower. She doesn't have to force it, she doesn't have to fake it. It flows out of her naturally. When a woman loves, she nurtures, she builds up what is broken. She takes pieces of dust and creates a home. She takes the little that a man may bring and multiplies it into much. That's not just love, that's power. Think about this: a woman's love can shape the future of her children. The confidence a child carries into the world often comes from the love their mother planted in their spirit. A woman's love can inspire a man to rise to his highest potential, to fight battles he would have otherwise walked away from. A woman's love can heal a community, because when she chooses to forgive, to nurture, to teach, she passes down a legacy of compassion and strength. That's why I say her love is her power. It can do what money can't do, what position can't do, what titles can't do. It transforms hearts, but family, here's the truth that many don't realize. Any power that isn't guided with wisdom can become dangerous. And a woman's love is no different. Just like electricity can light up a house or burn it down, love can either give life or drain it. When a woman pours her love into the wrong person, when she invests it into the wrong place, she starts to lose herself. She becomes tired, frustrated, and heavy, not because her love was wrong, but because it wasn't received properly. Her gift was given, but it wasn't honored. That's the danger of power without direction. See, a woman's love is supposed to be like a seed. When it's planted in the right soil, it grows into something beautiful. But if it's planted in barren ground, she can pour out everything she has and still see nothing come to life. That's why she has to learn discernment. She has to recognize who deserves the best of her love and who doesn't. Because when her love is given to the right person, the right family, the right purpose, it doesn't just bless them, it blesses her too. She feels fulfilled, energized, alive. So, never underestimate the power of a woman's love. It is her superpower. It builds nations, raises kings, heals wounds, and creates life, but she has to remember, just because love is her nature doesn't mean it has to be given without wisdom. Her love is too valuable to waste. When she protects her love and directs it toward the right places, she doesn't just change others, she changes the world. Family, one of the greatest lessons a woman has to learn about her love is that it starts with herself. Too often, women are taught from a young age to give, to serve, to sacrifice, to pour into everybody else and put themselves last. Society makes it seem like her worth is measured by how much she can endure and how much she can give away. But here's the truth. Love that doesn't begin with self, love will always leave her empty. You cannot pour from an empty cup. A woman who doesn't value herself will accept less than she deserves. And when she accepts less, she starts teaching others how to mistreat her, not because she wants to, but because she never learned to set the standard. Self-love is not selfish, it's survival. It is the foundation for every relationship she will ever have. When a woman truly loves herself, she creates boundaries. She knows what feels right and what doesn't. She won't beg for attention. She won't chase after love. She won't settle for crumbs when she knows she deserves the whole table. Loving herself teaches her patience because she's not desperate for somebody to validate her. It teaches her strength because she learns that being alone for a season is better than being broken in the wrong relationship. It teaches her confidence because she realizes her value was never tied to someone else's approval. It was always inside of her. But when a woman doesn't love herself first, she becomes vulnerable to being drained. She gives and gives, hoping that somebody will give back the same way. She sacrifices her joy, her peace, her dreams, just to hold on to something that isn't even feeding her soul. And then she wonders why she feels so tired, why she feels so unappreciated, why she feels invisible. It's because she hasn't learned that her first responsibility is to herself. She has to fill her own cup so that when she loves others, it flows from her overflow, not from her emptiness. When she finally learns to love herself, everything changes. The type of people she entertains changes. The way she carries herself changes. The way she speaks, the way she walks into a room, the way she sets her standards, it all shifts. And people notice it. They can see a glow in her spirit that says, I know who I am, I know what I'm worth, and I refuse to accept less. That kind of self-love is magnetic. It draws in respect, it commands honor, and it builds relationships that are rooted in equality, not in imbalance. So the lesson here is simple but life-changing. Love begins with you. Before you give your heart away, you've got to give it back to yourself. Before you build someone else, you've got to build yourself. And once a woman learns that, her love stops being something that drains her. It becomes something that sustains her, strengthens her, and elevates her life to the level she was always meant to live. Family, a lot of people confuse love with losing yourself, but that's not love. That's sacrifice without wisdom. See, real love is powerful, but without boundaries it becomes a burden. A woman's heart is naturally open. She wants to give, to nurture, to support, to see the best in people, and that's a beautiful thing. But when that love has no boundaries, it can start to feel like chains instead of wings. It can weigh her down because she's carrying responsibilities and pain that don't even belong to her. Boundaries don't mean you don't love. Boundaries mean you love yourself enough to protect your peace. They mean you understand that your love is precious, and not everybody deserves access to it. Too many women stay in situations where they're constantly giving but never receiving, and they tell themselves, if I just love harder, maybe things will change. But family, love without boundaries teaches people to take advantage. When someone knows that no matter what they do, you'll always forgive, always accept, always give, then they stop valuing you. They stop respecting your love because it has no conditions, no standards, no line in the sand that says, this is too far. Unconditional love doesn't mean unconditional access. You can love someone and still say no. You can love someone and still walk away. Narcissistic only can love someone, and fools their manstiultion demand respect. That's what boundaries look like in practice. They aren't walls that keep everybody out their gates, that allow in only what's healthy, what's right, what's safe. And when a woman learns to set those boundaries, she discovers a new kind of freedom. Her love no longer feels heavy, it feels powerful again because she's choosing where to place it. Here's the truth. People who truly value you won't be offended by your boundaries, they'll respect them. They'll understand them because love and respect go hand in hand, but people who only want to take advantage of you, they'll get angry when you set limits. And that's the lesson. When someone reacts negatively to your boundaries, it reveals their intentions. It shows you that they weren't here for real love. They were here for what they could get out of you. So when a woman chooses to set boundaries, she's not being cold-hearted, she's being wise. She's saying, I know the weight of my love and I refuse to let it be misused. And that's when her love becomes a blessing instead of a burden, because now she's loving from a place of strength, not desperation. She's giving by choice, not by obligation. She's no longer drained. She's empowered. Family, let me say it plain. Love without boundaries is not love. It's bondage. But when a woman learns that boundaries protect her love, not limit it, she becomes unstoppable. Because now her love is not only pure, it's also powerful, purposeful, and preserved for the people and places that truly deserve it. Family, one of the most eye-opening things about love is that it reveals who people really are. You can listen to someone's words all day long, but their actions in response to your love will always tell you the truth. See, love is like a mirror. When a woman gives her love, it reflects back what's inside the other person. If that person is genuine, appreciative, and willing to grow, her love will inspire them to be better. But if that person is selfish, immature, or broken, her love will only expose those traits. That's why love is not just a gift. It's a test. It reveals, it uncovers, it shows what's really there. Think about it. When a woman loves, she gives her heart, her time, her energy, her patience. Now, if that love is met with respect, that relationship flourishes. The person on the other side becomes motivated to match that energy, to reciprocate, to pour back into her. But if her love is met with disrespect, with neglect, with indifference, that's not a reflection of her, it's a reflection of them. Love is never wasted, but it does tell you where it doesn't belong. The mistake many women make is ignoring what love is trying to show them. They see the lack of effort, the lack of appreciation, the lack of respect, but they convince themselves, if I just keep giving, maybe it will change. But family, love doesn't change people, it only reveals who they already are. And once love shows you the truth, your job is to believe it. Don't explain it away, don't excuse it, don't minimize it. Love is shining a light for you so you can see who is really walking with you and who is just taking from you. Here's the beauty in it. Love will always bring clarity. If your love inspires someone to rise higher, to treat you better, to grow into a better version of themselves, that's a sign that your love is aligned with their character. But if your love makes no difference, if your love is ignored or even taken advantage of, that's your lesson. The lesson is not that you shouldn't love, it's that you should direct your love where it can be received, respected, and reciprocated. The truth is, people can say they love you, but the way they handle your love reveals their heart. Words are easy. Actions under the presence of love, that's where truth lies. So when you see how someone treats your love, pay attention. That's God's way of showing you who's meant to stay and who's meant to go. So remember this, your love is not just a gift, it's also a detector. It reveals who is ready, who is real, and who is only pretending. And once you see the truth, you can no longer act blind. Because a woman's greatest power is her love. But her greatest lesson is learning to believe what her love reveals. Family, one of the hardest but most powerful teachers in a woman's life is heartbreak. Nobody wants it, nobody asks for it, but at some point it touches everyone. And when it does, it feels like the end of the world. It feels like the pieces of your heart are too shattered to ever come back together. But here's the truth. Heartbreak doesn't just break you, it builds you. It teaches you lessons that comfort never could. It introduces you to a version of yourself you didn't even know was there. When a woman goes through heartbreak, she learns resilience. She discovers that what she thought would destroy her actually strengthens her. She realizes that her worth was never tied to someone staying, but to her ability to keep moving forward. That's powerful because heartbreak shifts her perspective. It wakes her up. It forces her to stop living for someone else's validation and start finding strength within. See, pain is a strange teacher. It doesn't come with gentle words, it comes with fire, but fire refines. Just like gold has to go through heat before it shines, a woman often has to walk through heartbreak before she realizes how strong and valuable she really is. She learns patience in the process because healing doesn't happen overnight. She learns wisdom because now she can see the signs she once ignored. And she learns courage because standing up after being broken takes bravery most people will never understand. The beautiful thing is this, heartbreak may close one chapter, but it opens another. It creates space for new beginnings, for new strength, for new standards. Many women don't realize how much power they carry until heartbreak forces them to reclaim it. What once felt like an ending becomes the very foundation for her rebirth. She learns to smile again, but this time with wisdom. She learns to trust again, but this time with discernment. She learns to love again, but this time without losing herself. And family, let me be real, heartbreak is never wasted. Every tear, every sleepless night, every prayer whispered through the pain is building something inside her. It's building clarity, it's building boundaries, it's building a backbone that won't bend so easily next time. That's why many of the strongest, most empowered women you'll ever meet are the ones who've been broken before. Because they didn't just survive the pain, they transformed it into power, so if a woman finds herself in heartbreak, she shouldn't see it as a punishment. It's preparation for the version of her that refuses to settle, preparation for the opportunities and relationships that require her to know her worth. Preparation for the life she was created to live, because heartbreak is not the end. It's the teacher that ushers in her new beginning. Family, at the end of the day, when it's all said and done, what people will remember most about a woman is the love she gave. That's her legacy. It's not the clothes she wore, not the car she drove, not even the job she had. It's the way she made people feel, the way she poured into lives, the way she touched hearts. A woman's love leaves fingerprints on generations. Children carry it, spouses remember it, friends are shaped by it. That love is her greatest mark on the world, but here's the truth. Love alone isn't enough. Love needs wisdom to guide it. Because love without wisdom can become sacrifice that drains, but love with wisdom becomes legacy that sustains. When a woman learns to love with wisdom, she no longer gives out of fear of losing someone. She gives from a place of strength and purpose. She understands that her love is not just a gift, it's an investment, and like any wise investor, she chooses carefully where to place it. She knows not everyone is worthy of her energy. Not every relationship deserves her time. Not every situation requires her sacrifice. Wisdom allows her to say, I can love you, but I don't have to lose myself to prove it. That balance is powerful. Because a woman who loves without wisdom often ends up depleted. She gives everything and forgets herself. But a woman who marries love with wisdom builds something lasting. Her children grow up not just knowing they were loved, but also seeing what self-respect looks like. Her partner doesn't just feel affection, they learn accountability. Her community doesn't just receive kindness, they witness strength. That's how her love becomes a legacy. It teaches as much as it gives. Love with wisdom also protects her peace. She doesn't waste years trying to fix what refuses to grow. She doesn't chase validation from people who don't value her. Instead, she pours into the spaces that are fertile, that will multiply the love she gives. And because of that, her love continues to echo long after she's gone. Her children teach their children, her friends carry her lessons. Her impact lives on. See, legacy is not about leaving behind material things. It's about leaving behind meaning. A woman's love becomes her greatest legacy when it uplifts others while also protecting her, but the only way to ensure that is by letting wisdom lead. Wisdom teaches her to discern. Wisdom teaches her when to stay and when to walk away. Wisdom teaches her that love is not about losing herself, but about being her fullest self. So when the story of her life is told, it won't be written in titles or possessions. It will be written in hearts. And if she has lived in love with wisdom, then her story will never end, because her love will live on as her greatest legacy, passed down, remembered, and honored for generations to come.